Hello, I'm Bood and welcome to my channel. Thanks for checking out one of my videos. If you're brand new, feel free to subscribe, and thanks for checking this video out. Hopefully by the end of the video you'll be a subscriber. If you're already a subscriber, as always, thanks for watching another video on my channel. While you're all here together, why not be nice, go on and tickle the like button. Really helps me, helps this video and helps the channel grow, so I do appreciate it. Right, this video is called Making Scotland Awesome. That's what we're going to attempt to do in a 10-year experiment. We're going to jump forward to the year 2028 now. You may or may not know, but my granddad was Scottish. My family name is Scottish. I've got a lot of links to Scotland, and I love Scotland. I'm proud part of me comes from there. But when it came to Scottish football, I'd not paid any attention for a very, very, very long time. And I mean, at all. And when Rangers went sent down, and it was just Celtic, I really didn't bother with Scottish football at all. Until last year, I ended up doing a save. Some of you may have watched it with Ayr United, because my family are from Ayr, so that's why I chose Ayr United. I fell in love with it. I played for I think on camera, I shared it with you, about 12 years. I think I did a few more years on my own. It was my longest personal save last year. It was brilliant. I took Ayr United through the leagues. We ended up winning the title. It was great. Honestly, it was so much fun, and it's made me really fall back in love with Scottish football again, especially on Football Manager. I did something similar to this last year, but I wanted to do it again for FM19. I will make the save files available as well if you want to jump into this world that I've created. So it is, it's a bit of fun. It's an experiment. We're going to use the tools of the pre-game editor. I'm going to see if we can make Scotland awesome. So I'm going to talk you through what I've done, and then we're just going to have a look at what Scotland's like now, and then we'll jump 10 years into the future and see if the things I've done have worked. Here we are, and we'll start on the Scottish national page. Now what I've done is I've done a few things in the editor to hopefully give Scotland the legs up and over time turn them into a powerhouse of world football. So I've gone through every league, all the 4 top leagues and the Highland League, and I've given every club brilliant, top of the range, state-of-the-art training facilities, so that when players come through, they've got the best place to train, the best place to grow and become good footballers, and also to attract footballers to come to Scotland. We have a youth rating, a youth category. It's so the computer can decide which country makes the best players, really. So like Brazil's got a very high rating, Germany's got a high rating. England's isn't that great, to be fair. England's is 125, maximum is 200. I think Scotland's rating is about 80. It's in the 80s. It's now 200. So Scotland have got the best youth rating in the world. Every team in Scotland's got the best facilities. So I'm hoping as the years roll on, as we get towards 2028, regens are going to start coming through, and top quality regens. Now when I do stuff like this in the past, sometimes, even though you give them all this money, they'll buy all these players in from abroad, and usually they'll have a great young Scottish talent or something, and they'll sell them on. So we'll see if that happens again. Be interesting to find out. I want to see if Scotland can get up the world rankings from 40th, hopefully break into the top 10 in 10 years. I think that would be great. If they can win something, that would be even better. When it comes to the clubs, obviously I want to see how they grow, see if they build new stadiums with all this money. But I want to see if they win a Champions League or Europa League. Now each club as well, I've given them money. They've got a lot of money in the Premier League, and as you go down the leagues, I've made it a bit less, but it's still more than they would ever dream of ever having. Each club also has commercial incomes and individual TV deals, and they're guaranteed every season to pump in money. I mean, the likes of Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, Hibernian, the top level teams are not only going to be more financially sound than Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain, they're going to be richer, they're going to be stronger, and it's going to be able to see if can they use that money. Can you pump a lot of money into a country like this? And will it be successful over time? That's what we're going to find out. I will make them available. I think I might have said that earlier. I'll make the save files available, especially the 2028 one. If you want to jump in there in a world where Scotland is awesome, then it's up to you. But we don't know if it is awesome yet. I've had this holidaying overnight. I've not looked at it. I've made some notes. I can't wait to get stuck in. So smash that like button and let's get started. First off, let's look at the national ranking, and they are 40th. Like I said, I want them to get into the top 10. And if we look up here, I mean, England, the 6th. I am English, don't get me wrong, but it'd be great if they could get past England, wouldn't it? This is the current Scotland squad, and the best player is Andrew Robertson. I mean, this team's pretty good, you know. I did something with Scotland's international team last year, and I had a lot of fun. Some good players came through. I really enjoyed it. But Andrew Robertson is a good player, left back. He's their most valuable player at the minute at 26 million. I'm hoping in 10 years some of these younger lads, especially Celtic's left back, I hope they're still knocking about, mixed with some really high quality regens. Now, one of the things I really want to improve is the Scottish Premiership. I want it to be one of the top elite leagues in the world, and I think that's a possibility in 10 years. With the amount of money that's going to be pumped into the league, even when teams go down and come up, there's money. So I'm hoping that the money circulates around Scotland, and when they do buy players, they bring it in. It's getting replenished from the clubs themselves. So I want that. This is the main one, I think. I really want the Ladbrokes Premiership to get in the top 5. I also want to look at the domestic cups. The main one, of course, is the Scottish Cup. It's 13th at the minute in the world, which is pretty respectable. That's pretty good. But if we get it up there with the FA Cup and the Spanish Cup, I mean, the Belgian Cup's 3rd. I mean, I don't know how much that's true, because if you look there and you look at the reputations, they have all got 3 stars. So I'm assuming, are they all classed as equal? The Betfred Cup, which I think is like the Scottish League Cup, the Carabao Cup, if you want to know what that means, is a 2-star trophy, and it's 39th in the league. Now, I'm not sure, you know, to be fair, I've never looked into this when I've done similar things. If a country grows, it's got more money, it gets better players. I know the league will grow, but I don't know if a cup will grow. One thing we'll do as well is look at Scotland's 2 biggest clubs. We'll see who the manager is, we'll have a look at the current squads, and then we can compare it in 10 years to see the differences, because they are the biggest teams. So they're going to, I'm assuming, they've got the same money as everyone else in the Premier League to start with, but not all the fans. So Rangers have said they can have more fans, probably sell more season tickets. I'm assuming they'll stay at the top. But the smaller clubs, they are what they are. If they've got the right money and they can build new stadiums, you can grow a team. I've done it. I've grown a team with 6,000 fans into a team with 30,000 fans. And I did that in 10 years on my series for FM19, so it can be done. I just don't know if the computer can do it. So it'd be good. That's what I want. Some of the smaller teams who maybe got old stadiums to build new stadiums, get bigger fan bases, and try and compete. And if we look at their current squad, I mean, it's decent. They've got some high value players, but we want like 60, 70, 80 million pound players. That's what I'm aiming for. Big time Premier League, stupid money kind of value players. So yeah, there's the team at the minute. Like I said, they've got some good players, a couple of good young players. What's it going to be like in the future though? There's going to be any Scottish players in it. It's going to be all foreigners. Looking at Rangers, of course, they've had a few hard years recently, but they're looking like they're getting back to where they belong. Definitely massive club. Steven Gerrard is the manager. You'll see that there. Look at that. Oh my God! But they've climbed all the way back up. So fair play to Rangers. And obviously we'll look at Rangers, and they've obviously been out of the limelight or the top flight for a while, so they haven't got the same level of player as Celtic, but I'm assuming they're going to now. Do you know what I mean? As that money starts coming in, I think they'll be fine. Yeah, I'm hoping it's an even. What I want is not to Celtic to run away with it. Don't dislike Celtic, but I'd like it to be Celtic, Rangers, Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts. Now, it's all good as using Celtic and Rangers to compare, but they're expected to be big and probably will be big. I want to use a smaller team to get a good idea if all this money can really affect Scottish football. So we're going to look at the Ladbrokes Championship team, Ayr United. For obvious reasons, it's where my family come from, and I fell in love with Ayr United when I did the series with them last year. And current manager is Ian McCall, and like I said, they're not going to have as much money as Celtic and Rangers, but it's still a lot. It's hundreds of millions every year, so it'd be good if they could improve the stadium, if not build a new stadium, get in the Premier League. But we'll see. We're going to look at a team like Ayr, who would probably float around the Championship and Division 1. If they were lucky, they might go up for a year or in the top flight. But we'll see what happens with a team like this. And if we look at the squad, we'll see when it comes to money, it is tiny. I mean, you compare the values of this team with a Sky Bet League 2 in England, it's probably struggle with them. Do you know what I mean? So, will money change him? I'm hoping so. I hope it makes him into a powerhouse. But I'd like it if the lower teams can at least not buy from abroad, maybe develop some quality Scottish players. Welcome to the 3rd of July 2028. And here we are, and straight away you'll see Scotland are 14th in the world, which is good. Don't get me wrong, that's great. I was hoping for top 10. I reckon if we kept on going into the future, they probably would, surely. Because they've jumped up a lot of places. They were 40th 10 years ago. First off, the manager at the moment is Jack Ross, who in this universe was just Ayr United manager for a year. He's been at Dundee, Derby, Sunderland and St Mirren. I think he started this at St Mirren. I mean, he's okay. He's Scottish, which is great. So manager-wise, he's the second one. So McLeish, who was in his second stint, I think, lasted 6 years. Didn't win anything. And Jack Ross has been in now for nearly 4 years. And he hasn't won anything either, which is disappointing. If we jump into the main squad and we should look straight away at the values, that's what I'm talking about. I like that a lot. I like it a lot. Now, I'm also looking at the teams we play for, and I think the same thing's happening. It looks like the Premier League, even though the Scottish League is richer than the Premier League, and has better reputations, club-wise, the freaking Premier League still makes them players. It's cheats this game, cheats. So let's have a look at some of them. Right, top player, Jimmy Connolly. And here he is. He's a striker, 25 years old. He started life at Partick Thistle, played for Kilmarnock, and now he's been at Liverpool where he scored 105 goals in 190 games. That's pretty good, doesn't it? Next up is Ian McLean, another 25-year-old. Started life at Ross County, played for Livingston, went on to Aberdeen, and now he's been at Chelsea for a while now. 40 goals in 100 games. Another striker, great finisher, great physicals. If you want this save file, this is a team that looks like it's on. With them two strikers, a Chelsea star and a Liverpool star, both 25 years old, and as good as they are, surely Scotland, you keep them fit, is on the brink of doing something special. Scotland's third best player is Jack Quinn. He's a right winger. He's an Ayr United player for a long, long time. He's now gone to Manchester City. He's been there even longer. 40 goals in 133 games from the right wing. Great physicals, can dribble, good player, man. Scotland's fourth best player is Jordan Ross, another regen, another young player as well, 24 years old, with some of the best physicals I've ever seen in my life. Well, they're pretty good. Striker, but he can cover all over the front. Very, very handy player to have, really. And the last player we're going to look at, I could do this all day, but we don't want to go on forever. Their fifth best player is Ryan Shaw. He's a central midfielder, plays for Spurs, started life at Livingston, played over 100 games for them, went to Rangers, and he's been there for a long time, played well over 100 games for Rangers, and he's just this summer signed for Spurs, so he's not played for Spurs yet. Let's move on to the under-21s, because obviously this is the next crop. I mean, this is after 10 years of players coming through, great facilities with a good youth rating. So we'll see what's going on here. And, you know, they've got a few decent high-value players. The first one's jumping out at me is Craig Wallace, who's at bloody Chelsea. Well, he's 20 years old. He started life at Dundee, went to Partick Thistle, and now he's been at Chelsea. He's not played there that long. He is only 20. I reckon he's got all the bases to become a top-class left-back. Pretty good physicals. Now, I've looked through it, and Scotland never won anything. They've not been to a final. None of the youth teams have won anything either, which is a bit disappointing. I don't think that'd stay that way. I think if it carried on this way, I think they would. That national team is just poised to win something with the age it's at, with the quality it's got. And I was hoping the under-21s might have picked up something along the way, but they haven't. You know what? I think, you know, they're starting from such as, like, no offence to Scotland, but from such a small, like, space. They've had to grow so much, and it's been 10 years, and maybe it just needs a few more years to make them just a little bit better. I still think 14th in the world is amazing. I think they've got some great players and a great future ahead of them. Well, the national team is the 14th best team in the world, and its top division is the 14th best division in the world. Again, I'd allow that to have been top 10, but I think, what were they? 29, so they've definitely gone a lot higher. I mean, apparently Denmark's still better, the Greek league. See, I don't know if I agree with that. I'm surely not. Well, I didn't think this would work, but it has. The Scottish Cup is now the second best cup in the world, behind the FA Cup. Really? It was 13th, it's now second. And if you did look down, you'll notice where the Betfred Cup was. That was 9th, and that originally was 39th, so that's jumped up 30 places. It's now better than Italy's top cup, the Italian Cup. Scotland's second cup is better than Italy's first cup. Have that, Italy. Have that. Seeing as we're on the Betfred, we'll see who's been winning it, and then we'll go backwards and work our way to the league. And Hibernian are the current holders. Celtic have won one. Hibernian look like they love this cup. Rangers are the bloody bridesmaids there, aren't they? Poor Rangers. Over to the Scottish Cup, and it looks all right. Livingston in there again straight away. I can see Livingston. Have they become a powerhouse? I'll have to wait and see. But yeah, you got Celtic who won it, and Kilmarnock won a few. Celtic have won a few. Livingston, Aberdeen. But last 3 years, I've not been one of the Glasgow clubs, which is great. Let's go up through the leagues, eh? And League 2, if your team's here, you might be happy. But yeah, let you look at that. Edinburgh City came runners up last year. East Fife won it. Cowden Beef. I used to work near Cowden Beef. Love it. Lovely part of Scotland down there. I liked it. So League 1, and you got Montrose. The Duke of Montrose was actually a friend of one of my ancient relatives, apparently. Anyway, Berwick, Dundee, Morton, Arbroath, Peterhead. On to the Championship, and I can see United there. But then I can see him as one of the... Be interested to see if they're in the top flight in the minute. I'm hoping they are, because I do like myself a bit of United. We're going to be moving on to the Premier League. We all know Rangers won it for like 1,000,000 years, and Celtic won it for 1,000,000 years, and then they swap it, and then Aberdeen won it when they had Fergie, and then it went back to Celtic and Rangers, and it's a bit boring. So, with all this money, has anyone been able to challenge Celtic and Rangers? No. Now, I don't dislike Celtic, and if you're a Celtic fan, you're going to love that. I don't dislike them. It's just boring. I give every other team a bottomless pit of cash, and they still can't knock Celtic off the top. I thought Rangers might nick one of them. Let's move over to the big one, and that is the Champions League. Has anyone managed to do it? Anyone? Liverpool, City, Barca, PSG, United won one. I'm a United fan. Yeah. I'm not happy with that. United got beat off City in the final 2 years ago. Rangers? Is that it? So fair play. Rangers nearly got their hands on the Champions League. But if we move over to the Europa League, it looks like Rangers have had a lot more fun in this competition because they're the current holders. So Rangers have got one. Celtic have got one as well. So if we go that way, Madrid, Chelsea, Tottenham, Celtic got their hands on one. So fair play to Celtic. Spurs, Chelsea, Napoli, Chelsea City, Dortmund and Rangers. So nice one. So this is the current Premiership, and yeah, United are not in it. Boo. A lot of the bigger teams are in it, but you got teams like Livingston. I don't think they were in it. I think they've gone down. They were quite good years ago, weren't they? And then they went downhill again. I'm not sure. I remember them being good and then disappearing. Obviously, we know Celtic have dominated it straight away. Firstly, I can't believe he's still alive. Carlo Ancelotti is still in the game in 2028. He's a great manager, don't get me wrong. Carlo Ancelotti is manager of Celtic. How good's that? Well, 10 years ago, their best player was worth 15 million. Their best player now is worth 47 million. But if you look at their nationalities, it's the same thing, this. And it's happened on other experiments, game after game, where they seem to sell off. You do this with a smaller nation, they sell off their own players and bring in foreign players. Obviously, they've got some Scottish players there, but they're at the bottom end of the value range. They're probably just plugged in to meet the European squad quotas. And this is their best player value-wise. He's a defender, Jordi Perez, played 50 times for Spain, so he's all right. I mean, he's a great centre-half, great positioning. I feel like his tackling and marking to be higher, but he's got good physicals. I mean, to be fair, he's a good player. The next player looks pretty good. My kind of player is tough tackling. Defensive midfielder, 25-year-old Mexican, Ruben Estrada. I love it. I like it a lot. Played 45 times for Mexico. Great freaking mentals, good physicals. And then their third best player is now 30-year-old Kasper Dolberg. I think he's one of the wonder kids on this year's game, or he was definitely on FM19. And I've seen him on a save I'm doing, my Journeyman save. If you've not seen it, go and check it out. It's called The Road to Anywhere. And he plays for Juventus, and he's tearing it up in Serie A. So over the years, how did Celtic's managers do? Well, they had Brendan Rodgers. He was there for 8 years. So the majority of the experiment, he was still there. Won 8 titles, 7 cups. He's left, so I'm assuming he's got another job. He's gone to Juventus. That's a step down. So obviously they had a caretaker, Nigel, who, yeah, there you go, Mr. Nigel. Then they had a guy called Max Musterman, who won 4 league titles and 2 cups. He was there for quite a while, nearly 4 years to be fair. This is Max, he's a pretty decent manager, 57-year-old. He's a Croatian, he's now gone to Valencia again. That's another step down. And now they've got Carlo Ancelotti. He's only been in the job 24 days, but I'm pretty sure he's going to carry on the Celtic winning tradition. Attribute-wise, he's orgasmic. Look at his ability. And he's only 69. He looks a lot older. I always feel like Carlo Ancelotti's the same age as Alex Ferguson. Do you know what I mean? Obviously not. Here we go with Rangers, and they've got Steve Clark. Steve Clark. That's a bit of a come down from Carlo Ancelotti. Bloody hell. Well, just like Celtic, their best player, or their highest value player, was 15 million 10 years ago. It's now 44. The entire squad's upped its value, so hopefully the entire squad's upped its quality. But again, you'll notice the same thing happening. All foreigners on the bottom end are just Scottish plugins. They've got a player. Wait, there's a player down there. He's a midfielder worth 1.1 million, 19. I think he's out on loan. He's called David Graham. That's my name. Here's David Graham. Look at him. I've talked about this in my Denton Villa series. I've just bought a regen called David Graham. He's absolutely rubbish. I just bought it because he's got my name. Go and check out my Denton Villa series. It's the best series on YouTube. Honestly, go and check it out. If you stop watching it, go back and watch it because it's brilliant. Thank you very much. But talking about that on that series, do you ever, after a few years, start looking for regens with your name? And have you ever found one? Enough of that. Sorry, I got distracted by the guy with my name. What we'll do is we'll have a look at the top dog. We'll look at their top players, starting off with this fella, Fernando Calazo. Here is Fernando, 24, Mexican. Where's Mexico getting all these good players coming to Scotland? Yeah, aren't they? Central midfielder, another one, and a good one all around. Really, really good player. Their second best player is actually a real player, Christian Pavon, right winger, can play on the left. Again, a really good winger. 32 now, so he's coming towards the end. But he's played for Inter, played for Spurs on here for nearly over 200 games. So it looks like he's not been here that long. Third best player is another real player and another older player, 31, Luis Felipe. Great physicals, centre half, Brazilian, played for Arsenal, Lazio. I mean, he's at Lazio at the start of the game, I think. He's played for Arsenal for a long time. Well, here we are on the manager history, and you'll see Stevie G lasted for 5 years. 5. Well done, Stevie. Got sacked. He only won a cup in 5 years, so I can see that because he should be winning league titles. He's actually now, fair play to him, because look at his attributes, they've come along a bit, haven't they? Manager of Liverpool, he was manager of Inter. Then they moved on to the draw master himself, Mr. Misery. I'm so glad he's fricked off for Manchester United. He was there for almost a year, Mr. Jose Bloody Mourinho. I'm still surprised he didn't win something, even when he's crap. He still wins a cup or something. Next up, they had Rio Vitoria. I might know his face. I don't know his name. No, I don't know his face. I don't know it. He's now manager of Seville. Good manager, isn't he? And then now they've moved on to Steve Clark. He's only been there 199 days, but at least he's won a cup, and it's a bloody good cup, isn't it? Because it's a Europa League, so fair play. To be fair to him, 64. He's Scottish as well. He's not bad, is he? He's not too bad. But enough of them. Who cares about Celtic and Rangers in Scotland? I don't even know if they've got any fans. We all love Ayr United, don't we? You're all here watching because you want to know what happened to Ayr United, aren't you? I am. And this is Ayr United. Steve McLean, or Stephen McLean, is the manager. They play at the Ayr Stadium with a 14,000 capacity. Built in 2023. That's what I wanted. These smaller teams to build new stadiums. If you jump over to the squad, it don't blow you away with value. I mean, but 10 years ago, their highest value player was 160k. It's now 6.5 million. And it is Ludovic Martin. He's French, he's 22 years old. He's come from Dijon FCO. He's alright. Alright, physicals. Looks like he can put the ball in the back of the net, and that's all that matters. Moving back to the Premier League, and I've put it on the stadiums now. Obviously, unless you're a hardcore Scotsman, you probably, if you're really good with football knowledge, you might know where everyone plays. I can't say I know where every Scottish team plays. I know quite a few of them play. I've checked, and everyone's in their original stadium apart from Partick Thistle, who have now got the Partick Thistle Stadium, which is nearly 19,000 capacity. We'll drop down one division. I won't go through them all just to see. And we already know Ayr have got a new stadium. Also Falkirk, I think it's Falkirk. If we check Kevin McAllister Park, yeah, it was Falkirk. They've built that in 2025. I mean, they're not building the biggest stadiums you've ever seen, but they're building new stadiums, which is brilliant. Do you know what I mean? I like that. It's a great part of the game. So there we go. That is the end of the video. I did try my best. I gave them loads of money, great youth ratings, and in 10 years, they've done well. Everyone's done well, really. I'm disappointed a lot of Scottish players have left. But the Scottish leagues, the cups have all got better reputations. There's some really good players in the Scottish league. They're winning European cups, just not Champions Leagues yet. And Scotland looks like it's got a team on the brink, the right age and the quality to do something, to win a major trophy, I think. There's no reason why they couldn't. Like I said, I'll make the save file available. Go down below in the description, you'll find it there. Dive into 2028 and have some fun with it. Hopefully you do. I'd have liked it to be a little bit better. I really would, but it is what it is. Still a bit of fun. Hopefully there's enough fun for you to smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. And just thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to spend it watching one of my videos. I massively appreciate it. You are a hero. You're a hero to me. You're also a hero to me if you go and check out my other content. Denton Villa, Journeyman, everything else. Thank you very much. Right, you've been great. I've been Bood. I'll see you next time.